In November 2019, I transitioned into full-time remote work after moving from Rochester, Minnesota to Washington, D.C. Little did I know that a pandemic would hit just a few months later, and I'd be locked into the decisions I made about my living situation. Some good, some bad. However, if there was one thing for certain, it was that a basic remote working setup with little to no human interaction would weigh heavily on my mental health. Although my apartment was quite small and lacked significant sunlight, I chose my apartment primarily due to its convenience with a direct line on the metro, straight to the airport, expecting to travel and work remotely from around the United States. Obviously, the pandemic had other plans for me. Moreover, as I was juggling a full-time job, part-time school, and a part-time internship, I struggled to maintain happiness in my extremely small 450 square foot apartment and craved for a workplace that would inspire me, motivate me, and give me a sense of creativity to help me perform better professionally and personally. And thus, in 2020, I set off to redesign my workspace at the beginning of the pandemic, which I will be sharing with all of you in this video. So let's get started. In designing my ideal workspace, I started with a large desk to have ample room to perform a variety of tasks. I originally had a large 55-inch flat white desk from IKEA, which was nice, but found myself sitting a bit too much since I'm usually always on my computer. Thus, I recently opted for a sit-stand desk from Autonomous. I've only had it for a few months, but it has been a game changer for my posture. I became used to the size of my former 55-inch IKEA desk, and Autonomous came in two different sizes, a 48-inch and a 70-inch. Since I didn't want to go down in size, I opted for this 70-inch one, which I have zero regrets for. I also picked up a cable management tray that can be purchased separately from Autonomous and used some 3M double-sided tape and some cable management ties to hide the cable so it's not as messy. The desk also comes with two cable management holes on both sides, so it made organizing cables easier as well. As for my desk height settings, I currently have three: a fully standing position, a sitting one, and one specifically for eating. Next up is my ultra-wide curved screen monitor from Dell. I've been using a dual screen setup for a number of years, but opted for this monitor after a bit of research because, one, it has a built-in KVM switch that allows me to seamlessly switch between my laptop and my desktop, sharing my mouse and keyboard and webcam. Second, it has less cables to deal with. Third, it made my life a lot easier when it came to video editing since it expanded the view on my timeline when editing in Adobe Premiere Pro. And four, it aligned with the more minimalistic aesthetic I was going for. The only gripe I have with a single screen is that I can't use presenter mode when doing PowerPoint, so I would have to have a separate monitor to do that. Other than that, I use Dell Display Manager to visually split my screen. Next is my computer. Nothing too special here, it's just my main workhorse when it comes to video editing. I'm heavily considering on switching it for a Mac in the near future to decrease the bulk in size and also to do more editing while I'm traveling. Since I spent a lot of time at my desk, I wanted my workspace to be organized in a way that allowed me to efficiently switch between tasks, but also be clutter-free and aesthetically pleasing. As I researched the internet to get inspiration for creative workspaces, the desk shelf system from Grovemade stood out. I spent a lot of my time reading books and jotting down notes for my videos, so I really liked that there was a spot you could move your keyboard and mouse into to allow for more ample working space. The desk tray also provided quick access to my frequently used items, but also allowed me to quickly hide them as well when not needed. The rest of my apartment also has a white, gray, or wood design to it, so the walnut wood desk shelf fit perfectly. Next is my office chair. Although I've primarily used office chairs in the past, I figured I'd make an investment into a more ergonomic chair this time around since I'm working remotely full time. Given the positive experiences I've had with Steelcase in my office days, I decided to purchase a Steelcase Gesture. It had all the adjustments I needed to comfortably sit for hours on end, and I'm quite satisfied with it. To provide a bit of cushion for my wrists and to allow better separation of my workspace, I also opted for a desk pad. I did a bit of research on different desk pads and ultimately landed on the wool felt desk pad from Grovemade. Although it probably isn't the most functional when compared to leather desk pads, I really like the look of it. Though I'm thinking I might end up switching to a leather one in the future, as I find that it gets dirty quite easily and it can be difficult to clean thoroughly. For my speakers, I currently use the Audioengine A5 Plus powered speakers. I think I may have been slightly biased in this choice, as I find that most of my favorite YouTubers also had them when I was doing my research. It has a very sleek look, sounds amazing, and connects wirelessly through Bluetooth to my desktop, my laptop, and my phone. Given my work with videos, I wanted to make sure I had very clear and crisp sounding audio, and the Audioengine speakers certainly did not disappoint. For my webcam, I currently have one from Logitech that my workplace provided. Nothing fancy again here, but it does have a Carl Zeiss lens, shoots up to 1080p, and has a very nice wide angle lens. For my microphone, I currently have the Razer Seiren Elite USB mic. It was actually the first mic I bought a few years ago to enhance the sound quality of my videos and during web meetings. It is a super cardioid pattern, has great sound quality, and well worth it for the price. I also picked up this Rode boom arm recently to make the mic much more flexible, since it was previously sitting on the corner of my desk. It got a bit annoying when I had to move it each time I wanted to use it, and the cables always got in the way. A newer addition to my desk setup was a headphone stand. I'm on work calls quite often, and so I needed a place to hang them up when I wasn't using them. Since I didn't have a dedicated stand at the time, I've been using the corner of one of my shelves since it was very convenient. Per usual, whenever I browse around for new desk accessories, the first place I usually look to is Grovemade, since I know that the products they make are not only functional but very sleek as well. Unsurprisingly, I picked up one of their walnut headphone stands to complement my desk shelf. Probably more of an unnecessary purchase, but the combination of the solid hard wood along with the black leather really makes this a nice statement addition to my work desk. My current mouse is also another newer addition to my workspace, and certainly one that made a lot of sense given the amount of time I spend on the computer. I've been using Razer mouses for a number of years, but ended up switching to the MX Master 3 due to its ergonomic design, wireless Bluetooth capability, and the ability to customize the buttons to specific apps like Photoshop, Zoom calls, or Excel. Personally for me, I use it quite often when editing in Premiere Pro, as I find that the thumb wheel is quite useful to quickly scroll through my timeline when doing edits. Also, the mag speed electromagnetic scrolling was probably something that I never thought I'd need, but certainly something that I really love about this mouse. The mag speed wheel could be toggled between two modes with the touch of a finger to allow for more precise scrolling, or be switched to the endless scrolling mode that can scroll 1,000 lines in a second. For my keyboard, I currently use the Razer BlackWidow Ultimate 2016 edition. I've been using it for a number of years and absolutely love the feel of it. Although the noise generated from the keyboard doesn't bother me, it is certainly one of the most common complaints I get from others when they're in the same room as me or when I'm on a call. It's an extremely durable keyboard, it's awesome for gaming, feels great, and looks really nice with its backlit keys. I've considered exchanging it for a more minimalistic keyboard since I don't really game as much anymore, but I plan to keep it for now since I do actually enjoy typing on it. In my day job, I also spend a lot of my time creating new processes and workflows. Although I can easily draft designs up in Visio or PowerPoint, I find it more efficient and more enjoyable to use traditional pen and paper to sketch out my ideas when drafting a new workflow. I've also used a number of methods in the past to track the things I need to do and have found that writing things down have always been the most effective. I still use electronic methods like Outlook, but frequently switch between the two. Historically, I've used any random pad and pen for this, but as I looked into redesigning my workspace, I ended up picking up a notepad and pen from Grovemade. The pen itself is quite durable and has a very pleasing and smooth feel to it when I use it to write. The pen also complements my workspace as it comes with the pen stand that has a nice wood finish. As for the notepad, I really like that it is longer than usual notepads since most of my tasks are bullets, so it just made more sense for me. The only thing that I disliked about it is that it was probably a bit heavier than I expected. And there it is, my current 2021 desk setup. If you're interested in any of the products I use, I'll have links to them in the description below. Alright guys, thanks for watching the video. Be sure to drop a like on this video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel if you're feeling generous, and drop a comment below to let me know what you think. Catch you guys in the next one.